Redeam solves a multi-billion-dollar problem by eliminating paper vouchers from the tours and attractions industry. See, unlike air, car, and hotel that have already enabled electronic distribution, the same is not true for tours and attractions. If you can believe it, it's actually still mostly paper-based. So if I was to go to a reseller like an OTA to buy a flight, they email me a ticket, and then later I get a boarding pass on my phone to get on the plane. Not so for tourist attractions. If I was to go to that same OTA and buy a ticket to a hop-on, hop-off bus ride, an amusement park, or a museum, they don't send me a real ticket. They send me a voucher. And this is a PDF that I need to print out and bring with me to the attraction. Once I get there, I need to wait in line and exchange it for a real ticket. And doing this electronically is practically unheard of. Now, as a traveler, I don't like waiting in lines. It's not a great thing to do on my holiday, but it's even worse for the tourist attraction because they don't have just front office staff that need to exchange vouchers, but back office staff that need to count each voucher, verify each voucher, reconcile each voucher, and then finally invoice the resellers for what they've sold. This collectively costs them billions of dollars each year. One of our customers actually used to spend 27 days of the month dealing with all the vouchers they got for last month. What if their sales went up by 20%? So mobile bookings in the travel industry as a whole are growing, but the antiquated system we have in tours and attractions is so bad that if you add mobile, it completely breaks. If you show up with your mobile phone at one of these places, they'll actually tell you to go and print out that PDF somehow and come back later. And this is a really bad customer experience. It leads to bad reviews, and in the end, less mobile sales. So if you're a reseller of tours and attractions and you're not selling mobile tickets online, you're leaving money on the table. And this is a problem that affects every single tourist attraction out there that distributes their tickets online. So Redeam solves this problem by electronically connecting the reseller, the traveler, and the tourist attraction together electronically. Let me show you how. See, the typical tourist attraction works with dozens of different resellers, or the large ones work with hundreds, and each reseller sends them a completely different voucher. This is our on-premise tablet scanning solution. It can scan any voucher that arrives from any reseller, instantly validate it, and issue a ticket. It can scan any barcode using our proprietary omni-scanning technology, and it can even support barcodes without vouchers, which are pretty common, without barcodes. And so the way it works is you use computer vision to read the text and process it that way. We can even support handwritten vouchers by taking a picture and we manually transcribe the information ourselves. Our customers think of us as a machine where all this paper and mobile vouchers come in and out pops a single neat report at the end of the month. And they love our magical voucher elimination machine. It's great for the consumers because they get mobile tickets right on their phone that they can scan and go inside. And the resellers like it because they can sell more mobile tickets online with this kind of technology. And keep in mind, this is only one application of our universal voucher redemption technology. It can also be integrated into the ticketing and reservation systems that already exist at an attraction, so they don't need to change any of the technology or services that they're currently using. Best of all, we support all of the resellers that they're already using. It's over 300 worldwide in all languages and currencies. We truly are a global solution. Our business model is simple, just like our product is. We charge a 3% fee for every single voucher that we process. We save them all of the associated pain from all those vouchers, and it's dollars and dollars in cost, and we charge them only pennies. We work with some iconic attractions around the world, like the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, the Statue of Liberty, and One World Observatory, just to name a few of the over 200 different attractions around the world that we're helping eliminate paper vouchers for. Since last April, we've grown at about 30% every single month, and we're just getting started. Focusrite data shows that last year, $37 billion worth of tours and attractions tickets were sold through third parties. By 2020, that's projected to grow to $45 billion. Even though we've been around the block, this is the team that knows this industry and that knows technology. Kevin McLaughlin, our CEO, used to work, he co-founded Smart Destinations, an attractions pass company, and he grew it to $45 million in revenue. It was recently acquired by the big bus company for over $50 million. Nathan Probst, our CTO, co-founded Redeam, backup technology software that powers Carbonite and is in use on millions of computers worldwide. Alex Kramer has previously written for Focusrite and T-News, and he co-founded FlexTrip, a B2B tour and activity platform. I also co-founded FlexTrip with Alex, we're our CEO, and we successfully exited that company to Nor1, a hotel technology merchandising platform. Even though we've been around the block, we have a deep bench of advisors to help us take this to the next level. They have backgrounds at Disney, Ticketmaster, Universal Studios, Google, Expedia, and Focusrite. This is the team that knows technology, and this is the team that knows this industry. And we're bringing it together to enable electronic connectivity for the tours and attractions industry that the rest of travel has had for decades. Thank you.
Well done. Please take a seat, and we'll ask the judges to start questions.
Can you hear me? Thank you, Leith. So I conduct tours of ITB. How would that work? Really fast. How would I get set up? How would I get connected to consumers?
Sure. If you're a supplier of tours, the way it works is you call us, we sign a contract, and then we give you a redemption device. That redemption device can scan any voucher that you get from any reseller. So if you work with TripAdvisor, Get Your Guide, Expedia, or any of the other 300, 400 in the world, you scan it, and at the end of the day, you get a neat report showing all of the tickets that you accepted, so you can invoice them and get paid.
So you don't eliminate the voucher, you just make it easy to accept them.
Well, once the voucher is scanned, you can throw it away. You don't need it anymore. Whereas before, what you'd have to do is, add them all up, manually count them, create an invoice somehow, and get paid. If you lost them, you'd lose revenue.
If I look at the flight industry, as far as I know, there's no one in the middle. Hello? Okay. If I look at the flight industry, as far as I know, there's no one in the middle between the airline and the customer doing the processing of vouchers or tickets. Why is tours and attractions different, and why is this not a short-term fix but a long-term valuable solution?
Well, if you remember, the way you used to buy a flight was you would get a paper ticket, and then you'd have to wait in line and exchange it for the boarding pass to get on the plane. The tours and attractions industry is still in that space. Each of the suppliers are much smaller. It's a lot more of a fractured market, and no one's really aggregated at all. We are building kind of the same technology that flights or airlines and consumers use right now, but that's still a long way off for us. We want to get rid of the paper, of course, and building that connectivity is really what we're doing. The short-term fix is to scan the pieces of paper. Long-term, everything just flows into the system that they're already using.
How many attractions do you have right now?
Over 200 alive.
Only in the States?
Right now, most of them are in the States, but we're expanding to Western Europe this year.
And how do you sell?
What do you mean?
How do you find your attractions? How is the sales?
We call them up and say, do you have a paper voucher problem? And pretty much everyone says yes.
And do you help on the demand side? Connect to distribution?
Yeah, yes and no. So we don't do contracting or anything like that. We don't have our own direct-to-consumer sales site. But what we've found is suppliers that use us start to sell a lot more through different channel partners because it's so much easier to bring them on board now.
But going back to that example, could you help me connect to Viator?
Yep.
Or do you do that?
Yeah, exactly. So think about us as the connectivity partner. You plug into us once, and then we distribute everything everywhere, wherever you want to sell it.
The customers you have, are they using your product for all their customers coming in, or how does it work?
Everything except for the tickets they sell themselves. So any ticket they distribute through a third party, all of those ones. The direct sold tickets are typically integrated with their own ticketing system, but...
Are you fundraising right now?
We just closed the round, actually.
And what's the biggest item you're going to invest in now that you've raised capital?
The biggest what, sorry?
What are you going to invest in now that you've raised capital?
Two main areas, technology, building out our technology team to do more integrations with more resellers and more ticketing systems, and then also our sales and marketing team as well.
Thank you very much. That was the last question. Thank you, Leith.
Thanks.
Our second innovator, headquarters is located just a couple of blocks away from here. In 2017, They won the prestigious award of Marketing Innovation Brand USA Award at the Global Focusrite Conference. Please join me and welcome Anton Werner, co-founder of Beech Inspector.
Hi everyone. Before we get started, I want you to think of your last beach holiday for a second. Okay, clicker is not working apparently. Oh, now it goes. What made you book the beach holiday in the first place? What is the most precious memory that you have of your beach holiday? And how did you feel when you were on the beach? Were you happy? If so, you're definitely in good company, because 700 million people go on beach holidays every year. There you go. And that is a big number, but it does not come as a surprise, because we people will love beaches, and being on the beach makes us happy. And that's exactly the reason why so many of us go on beach holidays every year. And the tourism industry, they know that. So they're all playing with beach images to capitalize on your longings for beach experiences. But have you ever questioned why nobody, and I mean literally nobody, lets us use the beach, our main motivation to actually go on beach holidays, as a criterion in our booking decision? The answer is pretty simple. The entire industry has no information on beaches. And we at Beech Inspector, we close this information gap. And we have developed a system to digitalize beaches in a highly standardized and also scalable manner. Here is what makes us unique. We have rich media content and structured data for every beach. And this data allows us to give personalized recommendation to beach holiday tourists, and also to bridge the gap between accommodation and the beach. So how is it that we have all this information while nobody else does? Well, we are beach inspectors. So we inspect beaches right on site. And to that end, we recruit beach inspectors and we train them to our inspection standards. And our beach inspectors, they have been around the entire globe for us. To this very date, we have been to over 2,000 beaches in 50 holiday destinations. And each beach we go to, we capture in its entirety, from the ground and also from high up in the air. And our beach inspectors, they often spend days on the beach, taking photos, making videos, conducting qualitative interviews with locals and documenting each and every aspect of the beach. The result of our work is rich media content, photos, videos, descriptions for every beach, as well as a data set of over 120 data points, all of which highly standardized and also structured. So information that we cover is basic information such as beach type, infrastructure on the beach. Yes, but actually our information goes far beyond that. How full is the beach during a specific time of the year? What kind of people come to the very beach? Is the beach family friendly? Whatever your question, we have the answer. And to get answers to those questions, people come to our website. And already today, more than 60% of our users are organic users. Our organic visibility has increased by more than 16 times over the last 1.5 years. And today we have over 1 million website visits a month. And this is only Germany. So we use our beach data in manifold ways. To give you one example, we used it to build the first meta search dedicated to the needs of beach holiday tourists. So what makes this meta search unique is that we are the only ones in the market to combine the two most important places in your beach holiday, the hotel and also the beach, in one simple search. So finding the perfect beach holiday has never been that easy. We have 3 revenue channels, the first of which I've just showed you, and that's we earn CPC revenues by soliciting well-informed users to our partners. But we've also proven to be a sustainable marketing channel for destinations to present themselves to potential tourists and to ultimately attract new tourists. And we also offer an API solution to the tourism industry so that they can provide their users with a substantially improved search for beach holidays. Our vision is to claim the digital ownership for beaches globally, and along with that, to integrate all touristic providers that render services to beach holiday tourists right on spot. On the left, you can see my co-founder, Kai. Kai has over 20 years experience in online tourism, and he has built and exited one of Europe's biggest winter sports websites. And Thomas and myself, we have a background in management consulting, private equity, and we have both worked for two of the biggest e-commerce companies based here in Berlin. To this date, we've raised over $2.5 million in venture capital. So summing up, there's a real consumer need out there, and our ever-increasing reach is the best proof for that. The market opportunity in the beach holiday segment is massive. And we have actually found a way to benefit the entire industry by what we are doing. And we are ready to go international. We're ready to scale. Thank you.
Looks like your model is both B2B and B2C. Is that correct? And where do you see the growth and the scalability coming from, B2B or B2C?
I think that's actually the beauty of our business model. We don't have to choose to be either the B2B or B2C. It fits tightly together. So we use B2B to service the industry, to open our partnerships, and to create recurring revenues that we can then use for our B2C case and to push B2C and B2B along with it. So we can earn multiple layers of revenue on one initial outlay of investment, and that's to create the content on the beach.
How do I become a beach inspector?
That's a tough competition. We had more than 17,000 applications last year.
And first of all, a great product you guys have, and I've used it a couple of times, and I think it's really valuable in the industry. Unfortunately, one experience in the travel or online travel industry is that there's no money to be made in content, and I've seen a lot of content-based business models that never went anywhere. Why do you think it's different for you guys?
Okay. To be fair, I don't think that this really holds true for every company. Think of TrustYou, for instance. They actually made quite a success out of their business model, and that's content-based as well. To answer your question, I think for us, it's both the B2B side of things that creates the revenue for us, but ultimately, of course, it is our goal to basically tackle the entire topic of beaches online and to make a brand out of that.
What's your monthly revenue right now?
That is in the 6-digit sphere.
And if you talk about costs per click, what's your recovery rate from the marketing spend you have?
Our cost per visitor is 4 cents as of today.
And your revenues?
Well, we have a margin of roughly 75% gross margin on that.
What are the 2 or 3 most popular parameters that customers search on?
Okay, so basically our organic revenues comes from...
No, not the revenue. What do customers search on? The temperature of the water, where can I get a beer? What are the most popular search parameters?
Okay. So the first is, of course, beaches, everything that is related to beach, and we rank very highly on that. But what we've come to realize is that the entire unique content on Beaches pushes us for keywords such as city names, think of Alcudia, Palma de Mallorca, but also on destination names, so that we also have rankings on the first page here as well.
So I'm asking a different question.
Okay.
I'm a consumer. I'm on beachinspector.com.
Yeah.
What are the most popular things that consumers search for on your site?
Okay, since we are addressing predominantly the German market as of today, of course the most sought after beaches are on Mallorca or the German coast.
Thank you very much. It's over.
Thank you.
Our third innovator is also located in Berlin and was the runner-up EMEA at the Focusrite Europe Conference in 2017 for the Travel Innovation of the Year. Please welcome Lukas Empel, founder and managing director of BookingKits.
Hi. Thank you. Happy to be here today with you. We are on a mission. We are building the leading infrastructure for tours and activities. So we just talked about tours and activities from Leith, but let me quickly recap. If you talk to tourism, These are the three biggest markets in tourism. The first one is flights, how to get there. The second one, hotel, where to stay. And the third one is tours and activities. What are we actually doing when we are there? If you look at the first you'll see they're nearly entirely digital. So flights have been digitized by Amadeus and hotels by companies such as Hotelbeds. And if you go to the third biggest space in tourism, it's a mess. Less than 1/5 of suppliers are available online. And if they are, this has been driven by companies from the B2C side, so from the Get Your Guides of this world. And we've heard about the mess back then from Leith. So there are two problems in this market. The first problem is with the supplier. The entire administration is a mess. It's based analog, based on paper and pencil, on legacy software. And on the other hand, there's no central GDS system to connect to. So if I want to sell tours and activities content, I'll have to go to each of the suppliers one by one, contract them, and get their real-time availability. And this is where BookingKit comes in. We take all the fragmented supply side, we put that to one central platform, we standardize that, we standardize the pricing information, all the fact information, and most importantly, the inventory. And we output that to OTAs, TAs, specialized marketplace, and the direct channels of the suppliers. Because suppliers in the tours and activities space, unlike hotels, still have around about 70% of direct bookings, so that's still the major driver. And you may think, I've heard that pitch before, but both sides of the market have dramatically changed. Suppliers are more and more under pressure to get digital, to get to a digital booking system. And on the distribution side, the players are under pressure to market other content, not just flights and hotels, because their margins only show one way, going down. So how do we achieve that? First, we solve the first problem. The first problem of the market is the supplier works analog. So we give him an easy-to-use digital calendar system, an ERP system. The second thing is we make him actually use it by covering his direct reach, the most important booking channel he has. And only as the third step, we then solve the second problem of the market, becoming a GDS for this market and distributing the real-time availability to all the different OTAs, TAs, and specialized marketplaces. Where do we stand so far? We've been around for a bit more than 2 years. We are now the German-speaking market leader, powering around about 4,500 customers with our technology, and they're bringing more than 30,000 bookable events, real-time bookable events on our platform. And by that, we are the fastest-growing software for tours and activities in Europe. Look about the market potential, and these are, guys, Focusrite numbers. So Focusrite says this is $129 billion market per year, growing so fast that it's actually the fastest growing market in tourism, being by $200 billion in 2020. It's about 3 times the entire car rental space. How do we earn money with that? We charge mainly on success base, so on transaction base. We have a GDS fee for the distribution side, and we charge the supplier with a low monthly recurring fee and mainly on transactions. And we do that by using an escrow account system, so we never touch the money of the supplier, but we can charge all the fees directly from the revenues. There's more than 1 million suppliers waiting to become digital in that industry. And it's really about supply. The key here is getting suppliers on board. We've more than 10-fold our supplier numbers in less than 2 years, now adding 200 suppliers each month from all the different areas, top-tier attractions to mid-range suppliers. And on the demand side, we've been able to get live all the major European channels, including Get Your Guide, including CTS Eventim, including Vouchers TripAdvisor. And we are adding 2 to 3 new channels per month from different sites, specialized marketplaces, OTAs, and TAs. And one of the most important partnerships we've just launched at the ITB is our partnership with Amadeus. So the most important GDS system for flights, and they are using our content as the first content and tours and activities to be able to sell that with travel agencies. The product follows the strategy. It follows a 3-step strategy. First, get them a real easy-to-use system. Then, get them a widget for their own website so they can cover their direct bookings. And then in a 3rd step, be able to distribute to all the different channels. The management team brings what's needed for this size of business and for this type of business. We combine experience in the sales, in the software, and in the tourism space. The company is here out of Berlin. We are live since end of 2013, and we are around about a bit more now, 70 employees. And if you're in Berlin or want to come, we are hiring. What can you expect from us in 2018? Our focus is to further expand into travel agencies, because as OTAs, TAs do need content to differentiate themselves. Because it's not enough to only sell the same content you can get on Skyscanner and buy it, sell it with a consulting sales approach. But we give them the content to differentiate themselves. We're working more and more with DMOs to partner up and bring tours and activities to life, and we're expanding our German-speaking market leadership to European market leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Great timing. Over to you.
So obviously tours and activities is very hot right now. There's companies all over the world raising lots of capital. But specifically, why is BookingKits' approach a little bit better than Redeem's approach?
Well, they are doing a great job. I love their product.
But specifically, help everyone understand the difference.
So actually we're tackling a similar problem from different approaches. So what the guys at Redeam are doing is they're going for a hardware approach to say we want to fix the supplier's problem and say we want to fix the entry management for all the OTAs, TAs, specialized marketplace. And there's a couple of more if you're going for like entry management system like Galaxy ticketing, like the real hardware-based entry barriers systems. There's a couple of more in Europe, ski data, for example, predominant there. And we say we are not doing the hardware part, but we are basing the connectivity part. And as there's not much ERP systems out there at the moment, we are doing one of our own, but as there's more ERP systems, we are connecting them and really only providing the GDS system to connect to, because last sentence, when you're looking from the OTA angel, the TA angel, you really only want to connect to one of the guys and not to 20 services or 200 out there.
And what's a bigger challenge for your company, adding supply or adding demand?
Adding supply. In the market right now, we have more demand than supply. You've mentioned fundings, we've seen Airbnb entering, Get Your Guide raising.
How many suppliers are you connected with?
4,500, adding 200 per month.
What is, I'm going to say this, I mean, usually everyone in the travel industry is interested in getting more bookings. And so the suppliers are obviously willing to pay for the Get Your Guides of this world that bring them bookings. But you're not bringing them additional bookings, right? You're just making their processes easier. So why is there still a willingness to pay for your product?
Well, actually, they all want more bookings. That's the standard pitch. But the problem with them is they are so analog, and to get some perspective on that, really, we did questioning. 73% of suppliers are still basing their main agenda on paper and pencil. The next best tool is Excel. So you can now add channels such as adding Get Your Guide via Tor without BookingKit. That's easy to do. But you're facing a consolidation issue, and if you have an availability which is limited, which is very often the case, you can't only distribute like contingents, like sub-contingents of the availability you have. So without a system such as BookingKit, you are down to overbookings or selling less than you actually could.
Do most of your suppliers connect via an extranet or an API, or how?
The majority is connected by our own extranet, but we offer an API to implement legacy systems as well. Share is around about 95% direct, 5% API.
What are your gross and net sales per month?
We don't comment on that, but to give you some perspective of the numbers, there is that the average tour supplier we have, that's around about 500,000 to 1 million in annual sales. So that's like the sweet spot guy for the mid-tail. Obviously, there's huge differences coming from the short head and the mid-tail on that, but that's giving some perspective at least.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The 3 minutes and a half are over. So we're now moving to another market where our next innovator is located in France. Please welcome Slobodan Petrovic, Business Development Director at MagicStay.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to be with you today and to present our company. So MagicStay was founded by Valérie Ligné and William Le Serre. Valérie Ligné used to run international trade shows in France and abroad, in the US, in Asia, and William Le Serre is a serial entrepreneur. So Valérie, in his experience, I used to work with him for 15 years, and in our experience in trade shows, we faced complaints from our clients, the attendees, that it was more and more difficult to find available and affordable accommodation near the fairgrounds. In addition to that, we noticed that there was new behaviors in the business travel, where the business travelers were using apartments for their holidays, but hotels for the business travel, and willing more and more to use apartments also for the business travel. This was confirmed by our study. We conducted a study where 20% of the European business travelers said they have already booked an apartment for their business trips, and 42% said they were ready to do it in the future. So why do they want apartments for the business trips? Because in an apartment you get more space, you get more privacy, you get more freedom, and you get more comfort. And of course, it's much cheaper. We, according to our benchmark we did in Paris during blackout dates, the savings were 40% on the stay. But all apartments are not compliant with the corporate expectations and requirements. So on the hotels you have more services, you have more security, more flexibility, and the apartments are better accommodation. So this was all the question, and how MagicStay was born is to bring all the best of the two worlds together for the business travel. MagicStay is the only booking platform for alternative accommodation that is exclusively dedicated to business travel. It was something very important in our business model to focus only on the business travel needs and on the corporate needs. So we are 100% B2B. We offer business services and specific tools for the corporate clients. Still, we wanted to keep UX user experience that is as what we find in the leisure market. So we have a booking engine with large photos, with very classical, destination, date of arrival search. Today, we list more than 130,000 accommodations worldwide. We cover 80 major business cities in the world. And one thing that is very important, our apartments are sourced from professional property managers. We have very few private hosts, direct private hosts, because we want to have really people who professionally manage the apartments that are very available, that are very reliable, and that will be able to intervene during the stay at any time. We also developed a bespoke algorithm to rate the apartments from 1 to 5 stars, so you can compare to hotels. Of course, you get the reviews from former business travelers, so it helps the future one to choose the apartment they want. We also have developed our Trust Stay policy. This is a policy to address the duty of care of the companies, because in the corporate clients are really keen on having security for their travelers. So the first thing, we list all the security equipment in the apartment. Is there an alarm, first aid kit, a safe? But it's not only about equipment, it's also the compliance with the local legislation. It's insurance for the host, insurance for the tenant, and of course connectivity to different duty of care companies like International SOS or SSF. Okay. We also offer a 24/7 hotline, for any questions or to provide assistance during the stay. We offer an e-conciergerie application to offer services similar to hotels, like ordering a breakfast, room service, airport transfers, or dry cleaning. We have a loyalty program, so the business traveler can collect points and convert them into into a reduction for future stays. And very important, we offer a Magic Flight option which gives flexibility with cancellations that are possible up to 2 days before the arrival of the traveler. About the specific tools, so what is very important, we've spent 1 year developing and converting our pricing policy so that it can be integrated with the major TMCs. We work with all the TMCs in France, but most important, we will be integrated in major OBT, and we are starting this month with a new client on KDS. And we are discussing with the GDS and also with hotel booking platforms that are on the B2B market. We also offer our own tool for booking, Wizard, where you can manage your travel policy, where you can manage the workflow of approval and the reporting and everything the corporate client needs. So until now, we raised 5 million, mostly for our sourcing and for our development, technology developments. And we are a commission-based business model, and we also invoice setup costs for the software we offer to the clients. Most of the team, the management team, we know one each other because we were all colleagues or partners in the past, and we now have doubled the team with people from the travel industry who have graduated in the travel management or in the purchase management to grow faster the company. Okay, please. Thank you.
Can you give us an idea of how many clients you have, how many bookings you make per month, so we just understand the volume?
Okay, so for instance, we don't give all the figures. To have an idea, it's I would say as a previous company, we have a turnover of 7 digits today. We have signed with major clients.
Per month, per year?
Per year, sorry, per year, okay. We have signed with some major French clients companies, like Société Générale, which communicates, some we cannot communicate on. So we spent a lot of time on the sourcing first. So we spent more than 2 years first to have the offer, to build the content, the list. And then also we spent 1 year developing the tools for the companies and to adapt to the tools. So we expect now by the end of the first quarter to reach 1,000 bookings per month.
How does your loyalty program work when you are a B2B company?
Okay, so it's the loyalty program works for the traveler himself. So he has a loyalty card, and each time he makes a booking, he collects some points, and after 5 bookings, he can convert these points into or get some goodies or
right,
get.
But I thought your company is B2B, B2B.
Yes, but still, you have.
Why would your distribution partner want their customer to have a loyalty program with somebody else?
Okay, when I say B2B, we also address directly corporate clients. We offer directly the tools. We're not selling only to TMCs or through distribution.
Actually, I would call that side B2C, even though they're business travelers. It's still direct, yeah.
Okay.
How do you get your supply on the apartment side? Do you use aggregators or what? How do you go about it?
We contract directly with professional property managers, and then we connect to their API or to their channel management system. It depends. There are so many different property managers in the world, so many different cases. It can be rental agencies. If it's serviced apartments, so they already have PMS, they already have channel management system. So we just connect to have instant booking. So this is the important part. But we contract directly.
Yesterday here at ITB, Nate, one of the Airbnb co-founders, presented, and one of the new collections and categories Airbnb is offering is business travel. How will that affect your business?
Okay. One side, we're quite different. Our company focuses only on business travel. So each time we have something to develop new, each time a corporate client asks us for something to change or to develop a new tool, so this is our priority. It's not a part of our business. It's not 10% of our business or anything. So it's really the priority of the company. So this is something important.
But 10% of Airbnb could be 100 times
more.
bigger
Yes,
than you.
Yes, of course. But then they make the choice, what is the priority, the leisure market, offering experience, or developing for business travel. This is their part. The second thing is that, as I told you, we really only source through professional property managers. It's very important because they're always there near the apartment. They have a team near the apartment. We don't have a team locally, so it's their team. We contract with them to have their team that can intervene at any time. And then we have also offline booking service. So when we sign with a corporate client and someone chooses an apartment for longer stay, or shorter stay, and he wants some question, wants to be accompanied, so he can call and make the booking even offline. So it's really fully business travel dedicated.
Thank you very much. The time is over.
Okay.
Our last innovator comes from Venice, where his company has been founded. Please welcome Filippo Fasolo, CEO of HUDs Hotel. You have 6 minutes.
Thank you, everybody, to be here, and welcome to HUDs Hotel. We make hotels make more money, more profits from their hotels. What we do is very simple. There's a problem in this industry. If you want to sell a room, you go to an OTA. OTA is charging, as we all know, like 18% on average. Moreover, this means no awareness for your hotel. So, based on that, we enable, there is a great opportunity in this industry. This is a new technology, a new advanced opportunity that is price advertising. Price advertising is incredible, because it will show the rate of the hotel only when the room is available. So the price, so let's say, sorry about that. But let's say that this great advantage, this great technology is currently broken. And you know why it's broken? Because it's not accessible to anyone. So what we do is make price advertising accessible to every kind of hotel. One easy platform within full budget control in order to get the most out of it. Moreover, within the AI, we are able to generate an average cost per client that is based on average on 12%. More than that, we have a conversion rate that is more than 4%. So, based on that, we are targeting on independent hotels, hotel chains, travel tech companies, ambassadors. And right now there are about more than 500,000 hotels in the world. The yearly budget that every hotel invests with us is almost 4,000. That means a year opportunity of almost 2 billion per year. 2017 was our first year of business, and we have done a great validation. Within just 200 campaigns, so 200 hotels active, we were able to achieve more than 700,000 in gross revenues, and this delivered to our hotels 6.5 million in direct sales. This is working so good, and that's why we're growing quite fast, like 10% on a monthly basis. So this is our traction. We are pioneers in this industry. We were working within Trivago and TripAdvisor since the very beginning. We were the first European company certified by Google Travel. And in order to accelerate the artificial intelligence optimization, in 2017 we acquired a brilliant startup focused on algo trading related to the travel. There are some great companies out there, but we are different. We're different because we're bringing automation within the artificial intelligence to the independent hotels. More than that, we invented what we call distinctive distribution. The distinctive distribution is a vision, is a concept in order to bring more income and more awareness to the hotels. This means that we want to start to sell first on the most profitable channels, so today the meta search, but we are adding to our
Innovators. Ich bin Filippo Fasorlo. Ich bin seit 25 Jahren in dieser Branche tätig. Steigerung des Direktumsatzes des Hotels. Dann haben wir unseren KI-Direktor, den Sie hier sehen. Cevaldo Mauro und Marco Baldan ist der Vorsitzende. Abgesehen davon haben wir tolle Berater, Marco Bonato und Massimo Trovo. Und sie backen praktisch unser Produkt. Naja, gut, das war's. Das war HUDs Hotel. Wir machen preisbasierte Werbung zugänglich für alle Hotels. Vielen Dank. Nächste Frage. Wie strukturieren Sie Ihren Vertriebsansatz? Es gibt ja so viele Hotels da draußen. Eine sehr gute Frage. Wie priorisieren wir unsere Hotels? Wir kategorisieren die Hotels in unterschiedliche Kategorien. Und abgesehen davon haben wir es auch mit Geschäftspartnern zu tun. Also Travel-Tech-Unternehmen nutzen unsere Plattform auf White Label, um ihre Kunden anzusprechen. Wir haben zuerst einmal zwei Ansätze. Unabhängiges kleines Hotel, toller Markt, sehr fragmentiert. Für die ist es sehr schwierig, aber für die sind wir ja da. Und dann gibt es noch B2B. Ein Businesspartner hilft uns zum Beispiel, hunderte oder tausende Kampagnen laufen zu lassen, je nachdem, wie viele Klienten, Mandanten er hat. Das heißt also zwei unterschiedliche Ansätze hier. Mein Verständnis ist, dass man normalerweise in Hotels Channel Manager nutzt, um die Zimmer auf Booking.com und Expedia zu bringen. Und wenn ich das richtig verstehe, sind Sie ein Channel Manager für Megasite suchen. Aber warum sollte ein traditioneller Channel Manager nicht das einfach anbieten, was Sie nutzen, was Sie anbieten, also einfach nur als Add-on? Das Hotel muss kein anderes Produkt nutzen. Wir müssen nur in unsere Plattformen die Raten und die Verfügbarkeit der Hotels integrieren. Wir sind kein Channel Manager oder Booking Engine. Wir arbeiten mit jedem Hotel und mit jedem Kanal, jedem Buchungsengine zusammen. Das ist ein Vorteil für die Hotels. Es geht um die Konnektivität. Deswegen bieten wir immer mehr Konnektivität für alle Partner, PMS, Travel Managers etc. Und dann geht es nicht darum, ob wir das eine oder andere nutzen. Das geht ganz einfach nur darum, dass wir Verfügbarkeiten und Preise auf unsere Plattform bringen und dann von da aus kann man das dann weiterhin verwalten. Sie wissen sehr viel über den Markt. Sie kennen sich seit 25 Jahren hier aus. Wenn OTAs mit 18% Marge zu teuer sind, also Kommissionen zu teuer sind, warum wachsen die dann jede Woche oder jedes Jahr? Seien wir mal ehrlich, OTAs lösen ein Problem. Es gibt ganz einfach so viele Zimmerkapazitäten weltweit, aber andererseits gibt es kein Gegengewicht. Also sehr viele Hotels haben keine andere Chancen, also 90% oder sogar mehr. Zwischenvertrieb, also hier geht es um ein Gegengewicht. Also Direktvertrieb ist ganz einfach profitabler. Wir führen jetzt keinen Krieg gegen Online-Reisebüros. Natürlich lösen die ein Problem, aber in der Zwischenzeit kann man vielleicht seinen Gewinn steigern, indem man den Zwischenhändler und den Direktvertrieb in ein ausgewogenes Gleichgewicht bringt. Wer sind die Investoren? Wie sind sie finanziert? Wir haben uns selbst finanziert in unserem eigenen Unternehmen, also durch die vielen Jahre der Arbeit, und wir freuen uns natürlich auf die Finanzierungsrunde, und aus folgendem Grund: organisch gesehen ist unser Wachstum natürlich sehr gut, ehrlich gesagt, aber wir müssen ein bisschen beschleunigen. Wir denken, es gibt eine riesige Marktchance und Chance für uns, und deswegen sind wir auf der Suche nach